Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're live after 5 a.m. This is DANDROID, and I am in my awesome period 3, and we are rocking some Pacman. The question today is, what do we need to do? And that's what I love about this class is you guys are actually running the class, telling me what I need to do, what we need to do right on the app, versus me saying, okay, students, this is what we're doing today. Because you guys are into the sequence of creating the app. And when you create the app, you do one thing at a time. Are you guys with me on this? And then we just progress every single day with adding in more puzzle pieces until the puzzle is completed. So can someone tell me what we need to do today? Kylie. Okay, so we need to make the dot move around the screen. So are you telling me that Pacman is moving? Okay, is Pacman moving? Okay. So do I have movement code in here? Yeah, button up. That's moving. Oh, and we counted. That's great. So we're counting. We're displaying the counting. Okay. And yes, we will get into complex movement. Okay, so today, there's my clock animation. All right, it's throwing in Pacman. That's great. We have Pacman and facing the directions. There's my directions, heading 90, 180, heading 0, and heading 270. Perfect. So the next thing we need to do is make the coin, not the coin, sorry, that's Mario. We need to make the dot move, and that dot is awful. So let me go get a better picture. And I'm going to go to whatever this is. There it is. Okay, there's my dot. I'm going to shrink it a little bit because it looks kind of huge. Uh, 10. 10. Okay, I like my dot. Is that a better looking dot? Okay, so there's my dot. Pacman is going to try to eat that dot. Okay, so we want to get this dot moving today. When should the dot start moving? Once you press play. So we're going to go right here and focus in on our play. Okay, this is my play button. We need to be careful here. Well, maybe we don't. When you hit pause, is the dot going to stop? Yeah, it will. So this is good because the animate clock is turning on and off. So this is good. You're right here. So when we hit when the clock is running here, timer enabled is true. Are you with me? Okay, so I can type whatever I want here. I can type in I'll just type in clock is running. Okay. Running, R-U-N-N-I-N-G. Okay. You can drag this over here. The clock is running. Down here, is the clock running? Clock is paused. Okay. All right, so when we hit play, we want our dot to move. So let's just go here. And we're going to go IMG SPR dot. Go look at its commands. And all we have to do is set its interval, set its heading, and set its speed. Okay, are you guys with me on that? So let's start with heading. So when we hit true, we're going to make the dot head to where? Now, which way can we head? Right, left, up, or down? Or how about diagonal? How about northeast? How about northwest, right? So could we just pick a random direction here? Do we really care which way the dot's going? Do we want Pacman to control the way which the dot's moving? No. It's got to be totally random to be cool. So you go over here to your math box, and you want to get a random integer. And this is going to be degrees. What are my degrees? I think there's more than 270. I think there's more than 315. Yes, 360, but we don't have 360, right? Because 360 is also which value? 0. If you go 360, once you get to 359, the next one is back to 0. Does that make sense? So we're going to go from 0 to 359 degrees. And we don't care which direction you go in. Do we? No, we really don't care. Just say, hey, Dot, when we hit play, start going somewhere. Pick a direction and go that way. Nope, it's completely random. We're going to let it, this is what this does right here. It's going to randomly select one of these integers from 0 to 359. Okay, who understands that code? Thumbs up if you're good. Is that what we want? Yeah, I think that's totally what we want. Okay. Now, let's go and set, I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to set its speed. And do we know how speed works? No. So if you guys don't know how speed works, you now need to slow down to speed up. Devin, can you point to your left, please? Up high. Point to your left, up high. Does everybody see my Mario Kart sign right there that says slow down to speed up? Okay. What happens when you're playing Mario Kart and you're speeding around curves? You crash, right? So in programming, if you just want to go fast, you're going around curves, you're going to crash. Right? Sometimes, and this happens true in life also, you need to slow down, do your research, then you can speed up. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do right now is go back to our designer. I know that code's not finished. I'm going to go into my drawing and animation. I'm going to go into my image sprite, and I'm going to click on its question mark. Does everybody see question mark here? Yes. What screen? My code? I have printouts back there. I have printouts back there. I have printouts back there. Go get my printouts. What? It's cut off. All right, I'll need to work on that if they're cut off. All right. So, do you guys see that this took me to a website where I can now read about the image sprite? Image sprites can be placed on a canvas where it can react to touches and drags, interact with other sprites, balls and other image sprites, and the edge of the canvas, and move according to its property values. Its appearance is that of an image specified in a picture property unless visible property is false. So you can make it false. You can make it visible and invisible. Okay, did you guys just learn that? Okay, here we go. Let's keep reading. To have an image sprite move 10 pixels to the left every 1,000 milliseconds, 1 second. Have I already taught you guys that 1,000 milliseconds is a second? Yes, we went over that. For example, you would set the speed property to 10 pixels and the interval property to 1,000. Is that fast? 1,001, I went 10. 1,002, I went 10. 1,003, I went 10. Is that 4? Is that fast? No, that's like a snail. Okay? The heading property to 180 degrees and enabled property to true. A sprite whose rotates property is true will rotate as its image as the sprite's heading changes. So could we have it rotate? Could we have Pac-Man spin? Yeah, I can rotate him. I can have so who understands speed and interval? The speed is how many pixels you want to move and how often you want to move that. Okay, so there's two parts there. And there's a heading there. Okay? So who understands this? If you don't, go back and reread this and read it again until you get it. Okay? Do you guys see how you're one click away from reading about anything? If there's something, a property you don't get, go to the question mark, hit question mark, and read about it. That is your job. Is that my job as a teacher to make you read all this? No. It's your job as a developer. You guys are not students. What are you? You are now a developer. You are the developer. You're the controller of the app. If there's something you don't get, go do your research, because I hate to say this, guys, you guys live in the age of Google. If you don't understand something, you should not be raising your hand. You should be Googling it. I Google all the time. I educate myself all the time. Why? Because things are changing all the time, and I have to stay up with the change. How do I do that? Google it, learn how to do it. Yes. Because I think it goes against a lot of other people's teaching. Are you with me? But I don't care. Because we're developers, and this is what we have to do. You can't be running to your boss saying, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? Your boss is going to say, I hired you. Go find out how to do it. That's why I hired you. That's why I'm paying you $120,000 a year. Okay, which is $10,000 a month, which is $2,500 a week. Are you with me? Okay, so let's go back to MIT. Blocks. So now I know I have to set its heading. Did I do that? Yes. Speed. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go somewhere between 10 and 20 pixels per interval. Now you need to go down and set its interval. So you go down here, you click on interval. Okay? Intervals are did we do intervals the other day? Okay. 1,000 milliseconds is a second. 500 is half a second. 250 is 1/4 of a second. That means it happens 4 times per second. So if you want him to move 10 pixels 4 times per second, that means in 1001 he could have gone 40 pixels. Is that a lot? I don't know. Play with it, okay? You got to play with these numbers. I'm not going to make this guy random. I'm going to set this guy because I want a constant frames per second. So I'm going to make this, didn't we do this the other day? Okay, let's see if I can open this back up. This is my binary numbers. Teaching my other class about binary numbers. Do you guys know anything about binary numbers? Screen heading directions. Oh, here you go. Time intervals. Here you go. Here's my time intervals. Have we talked about this? Okay, so let's go over this real quick. I need to put this on the board, and that's why I just ordered 3 more whiteboards so we can have this stuff up and out. I need to print this, okay? Let me see if I can print this screen. File, print. Let's print 2 of these. Does anybody see? Oh, does anyone see the number of copies in here? That is weird. All right, so yeah, you can take a picture of this. 250 is 4 frames per second. 200 is 5 frames per second. 100 is 10 frames per second. 50 is 20 frames per second. 25 is 40 frames per second. 20 is 50 frames per second. We read the other day on Google that 60 frames per second is the fastest you want to go. You want somewhere in between 40 and 60. Okay? So I'm going to go, yeah, 20. Okay? Would I want to do 10? No, 100 frames per second is too fast. So let's go back here. So I'm going to make this guy 20 frames per second, which happens 40 times 40 frames per second. Yeah, you're right, 50. Thank you. All right. So I'm done. Now, what happens when they hit pause? What should happen? Yeah. So you just go to his speed right here, and you just say, hey, I want my speed to go to what? 0. Stop it. Stop the speed. You could also take your intervals and go to 0. Okay. And then when you click play again, your intervals will go back to 20. Your speed will go somewhere between 10 and 20. Right? I could also do this like this also. I could show you this. This will be kind of cool. Just set his speed to 20 right now, and then watch this. Okay, the coin. So let's go ahead and run this, and then I'll start teaching you about the next thing I want to teach you about. All right. Tell me what's the coin doing here. Is the coin behaving correctly? I'm going to tell you right now it's not. Okay. Tell me what is wrong with this. Play the game. Load the app.
Timer has been started.
Yeah.
Pause. Timer has been started.
Okay, hit pause and then hit play again. It'll move again.
Started. Pause. Timer has been started. Pause. Timer has been started.
Okay, is the dot behaving correctly? No. It's a bad dot. Why? What happened to the dot? My dot moved. Mine did move, but did it move correctly? Okay, why did it not move correctly? It's not moving in multiple directions. Did anybody notice that? It moved. Did anyone else's get stuck in a corner? Okay. It's stuck in this. It should not be stuck in the center. It should go to a side, get stuck in a corner. Yes. Then it's not on the internet. You got to make sure you're on the internet. Do a hard reset and connect. Okay, then your computer needs to be on the internet. By the way, this is a good lesson for you guys at home. Does anyone trying to do this at home? Your tablet and your computer have to be on the exact same internet. So right here at school, we have Fairfield and we have Butler Tech. Both your tablet and your computer have to be on the exact same internet. I don't know why your computer's off the internet. Please connect it to Butler Tech. All right, so let me continue with this video. This dot has to bounce. Okay? Have we talked about edges? Hello? Have we talked about edges in this class? No. Write this down. Okay, let's go to the edges now. We have to have a discussion about edges. File open. Let me look for screen directions, heading, screen scrolling. Okay, that's not it. I'll just go to new, and I'm going to make this real quick. Take out your engineering design paper. Once again, we have to slow down the speed up. Okay? You have to understand edges. Now it's important that we understand edges. Okay? Where are my, here we go. This is your canvas. I thought we talked about this. No? All right, so this is your canvas. Your canvas has a northern edge. Your canvas has a northeast edge. We'll write it down again then. Okay, where's your paper at? Do you have this on your paper? You think. You can't think. You got to know. Okay? This is southeast. This is south. This is southwest. I'll go over this one more time. This is west. This is northwest. Who understands these? Okay? This is your Pacman dude in here. Or actually, we're going to make this the coin. Right? By the way, this coin, the pellet, yeah. The pellet has an XY coordinate right here. Okay? This guy is going to take off and start bouncing. Are you with me? You need to know these edges. The northern edge is 1. Northeast is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is -1. This is -2. This is -3. And this is -4. If you would go and read about your canvas, you would find this information in your canvas. Do you remember I clicked on the question mark? Does everybody here know how to click on a question mark? Let's go do that. I'll show you where I got this from. Designer. Go back to your canvas. Click on the question mark. Go to more information. Read about the canvas. If you go down, there are edges. Image sprite. Let's go to edges. Drag, flung. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Canvas. Canvas, canvas, canvas. Where did I read this? Edge reach. Here you go. The image sprite can reach an edge reach. Here you go. North 1, northeast 2, east 3. You guys with me? So what I do, I took all this information right here that you should be reading as a developer, and then you draw it out so that your brain understands it. Does everyone's brain understand this now? Okay, now you can program it. You have to learn how to slow down to speed up in programming. Okay? So now I come down here, and I can go to my image sprite dot, and it has an edge reached. Okay? When it reaches an edge, what do we want that dot to do? And let's go in here, and do you guys see anything that could change its direction? Bounce. Who said bounce? Very nice. There is a bounce in here. And you want it to bounce off this edge. And then this has built-in code. This has built-in code that will make it bounce. Now, this is what's cool. Do you remember up here we had a random speed? Guess what we can do? Is every time you bounce, you could randomize this speed. So let's go to math. And we go into math.random integer. And now I want to change this speed to be like between 10 and maybe 30. Okay, 30 is pretty fast. Okay, 10 and 30. 30 is pretty quick. Okay, so now every time the ball hits an edge, guess what? It's going to bounce and do what? Speed up or slow down or something different every time. That's pretty cool, right? What does that do to our game? It changes. It puts a different element in it. Okay, it's just like, when you're driving around a racetrack. If there's a little bit of ice or a little bit of water, it changes that racetrack a little bit. Not the same racetrack anymore. So did we add an element that changes it ever so slightly? Yeah. Does that make it a better game? Yeah. You can do 10 to 20. I did 10 to 30. Do 10 to 20. See if it works, okay? Let's run this and let's see if it works. Okay, connect your AI companion. Okay, number one, it's flying. Okay. My dot is flying, so I think 10 to 30 was a little too quick. You think it's great? Then okay. I'm going to go to 20. Okay. 5 to 10. Yes, you could do 5 to 10. So do 5 to 10. Play with these numbers. That's why we do this. 7 to 10. 10 is much better, he said. Okay, then do 7 to 10. By the way, we could also change the intervals, right? Remember we had it set as 20 intervals, which is 50 times per second. That may be too quick. Okay. No, we can't do that. We don't have that capability in MIT.
Timer has been started.
Okay. Okay. I can go home and load in all my projects. If you log in at home, you're logging into a server, so you have all your projects. Okay. Let's go forward. Have a seat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a few more minutes. I want to get Pacman to collide with the dot. Isn't that what we ought to do next? Without collision detection, and there's a lot of chattering going on. I'm glad you're excited about what you're doing, but you got to keep it down, okay? Because we got to go forward here, and we got to maximize our 47.5 minutes, okay? So I want to make Pacman collide. So watch this. All you have to do is say, go to Pacman, and there is a collide with. Okay? And then you need a logical equal to. Why did I just mess that up? So if Pacman collides with other sprite. So I just drew a blank. Why am I not? So if Pacman sprite collides with I forgot my. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Sorry. I went blank there. I got to have a control if here. I was saying it, but I was not doing it. If, right? I kept saying if, right? If Pacman collides with, okay. So now you need your logical. Do you guys see what I was doing here? Look, this is what I was doing. I was going, why does that not fit? You with me? Okay. And I was saying if Pacman. Okay. You got to have the if. Okay. If. Here we go. If the other sprite is equal to, what is Pacman going to collide with? The coin, the dot. And by the way, could we have a bunch of different image sprites on the screen? Yes. Okay, so this if statement will make more sense when you have more. You could have ghost on there. So if, like we could say, if you get the dot, you get points. If you get a ghost, you lose a life. Are you with me? We can start doing that Monday. So this will make more sense when we get to Monday, but let's do it right now. If the other sprite is equal to the dot, you with me? Then what do we want to happen?
Does this appear? Make it respond. We get points.
Okay, you get points. So now, okay, we want to go and create a variable. Go to your variables, initialize variables, and we need to create something called coins dot, it's not coins, dot Pacman score. Is that correct? Pacman score? Does that make sense? There's got to be something here you understand. It's the score of the game. It's the game score. It's his points. It's how many dots. Okay. Dot count. Do we want to? We could call it dot counter. I don't care. Dot count. Okay. Dot counter. Okay. Who understands what I'm doing here? It's got to be something that you understand. Does everyone in the room understand dot counter and why I make that variable? Okay. Is everybody okay with dot counter? Okay, so I'm going to say dot counter starts out at 0. Go to your math box, get a 0. When I collide with the dot, I want to set this variable again, and I want to set my dot counter and do math with it and go dot counter plus 1. Okay, go back to your variables, get the dot counter and add 1 to it. Is that the end of class? Is it? Yep, 49. All right, and then all I would have to do now is go ahead and put it in my score label. I'll create this variable. You guys can finish this over the weekend. So all you do is go to set score label. Okay. And go to your text box. Get a join. And then in here I could write score, colon space, and then I could put in my dot counter. And boom. It'll display how many dots I have connected with. I've collided with. All right. Could we play a sound in there like you hit a dot, bling, bling, bling? Yeah? Okay, could I play a sound in there? Could I have text-to-speech come on and say, A to dot, A to dot, A to dot? I can have her do whatever I want. We'll talk about that more on Monday. Have a nice weekend. Keep calm and code on. Game on. Code on.